It will be played on Dry River, followed by Mediterraneans, and we might see Bedouins if we go into game number 3. Take it away, Mr. Barbecue Turkmen.
Towards the south of the map, playing for Heresy in the blue, we have LaaaaN, the Huns. His opponent for Vietnam going to be ACCM, playing as the Britons in the red. I can say I'm excited for this map again, because we've been seeing a lot of it, which means we're seeing it get fine-tuned, which is kind of what we want here. And we're seeing the people that are playing it well, really putting in the time to kind of prep off it, and the people that are kind of just jumping into it and seeing how they can go. And at the moment, what we can see is neither player have pushed to the front. That's kind of what we want to see literally off the bat. First choice should be get that mill down in the center, get that extra resource income, and then figure it out from there. Get yourself that income and then roll it.
Indeed, and I think we will see more of that in the upcoming stages. LaaaaN, he is playing the Huns here. Obviously, a pretty sweet civilization. Is getting 100 wood and then will move towards the center quite early. Britons at the same time not really having any great advantages here. Archers, well, will be pretty tricky. Maybe having the archer range work a bit faster might be nice for him. I'm curious if this civ was really the best one. If you have other civs there to choose from, the Persians, the Italians, and for example Huns.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one to kind of choose. And it's the first, basically, we've actually seen them in this set at the moment, which kind of means they're not one of the strongest ones. It could be they're trying to get one out of the way a little bit earlier, potentially, but that's all I can really think of.
Okay, having some tiny bit of overlay issues here that I won't be able to fix, at least for now. Maybe we can fix that for tomorrow, but not a lot of people complain, so can't be the biggest thing here. And let's take a look. First mill for ACCM now in the center here. First mill for LaaaaN as well. And I really want to see massive amount of villagers go into that direction. LaaaaN now going for an elephant, but they are more scary than boars, and that's why he needs to take his scout to help him out, block the elephant a bit. They're a bit faster and, well, he's doing a great job here. The villager will get to the TC.
Phenomenal blocking on that elephant, really. It doesn't get much better than that. Going to be able to get back to the TC. There we go. And he's in, not taking too much damage. And the second villager gets garrisoned. Pretty much a perfect play there. Both players moving out to their mill towards the center now. We've got 4 villagers from both players, but still, in fact, I think we've seen just a 5th kind of transition across for LaaaaN now. So a little bit of an advantage there towards him, but again, kind of unimpressed seeing how quickly we did see in the last game both players move out for that mill. I think it was the first thing we actually saw Nikov do.
Yeah, I think like different approaches for sure are possible here, and I personally am a big fan of playing Persians and go for the center quite heavily. Maybe we'll see that from other players. And well, LaaaaN, he will play Pop 20, is doing Loom now and already 5-1 wood. Barracks here might be men-at-arms from him as well.
Yeah, we've got the barracks down from ACCM as well. Came down a little bit earlier, so potentially going to be able to get some militia out, push in towards this mill and really kind of just push those villages away for a little bit, try and get himself a small eco advantage, because of course, that's the downside of going to the center here. You have all this sweet shorefish you can kind of lap up nice and quickly, but the downside being, if you get pushed off that, that's your food economy pretty much down the toilet. The good news is for LaaaaN, however, he does have a couple of units back at the town center. Going to be able to increase that, so he won't be completely knocked off it, but let's see exactly what ACCM does decide to do with this one here.
Well, he is going for men-at-arms, not the smoothest Dark Age ever. A bit of a delay, but still okay-ish, I'd say. And it will be men-at-arms against men-at-arms, but early uptime for Mr. LaaaaN here. This might be looking a bit like the Nikov against Paladin game, where the guy with the early uptime will have a lot of advantages the whole game.
And the interesting part as well, I could have sworn he started constructing that barracks a little bit later, but he's actually got more militia, or I think more militia, out in the field. He's actually got 3 at the moment, compared to, well, we've got a little bit less there as well. But got it in less time, basically. And then from there as well, got the second mill down towards the front here. He's committing to this kind of play. And the men-at-arms should be hopefully enough in terms of the tech to actually push this back across the map.
Let's take a look. LaaaaN, he didn't have the greatest build order. very late on gold there, as it seems, or the mining camp was pretty late. Man-at-Arms upgrade, kind of late. Is he trying to engage this? ACM will fear the M&A upgrade so much more, but it's still taking another 20 seconds. LaaaaN needs to run. This could have been the time where he already has the Man-at-Arms upgrade.
It's good though. He's getting some idle time on the villagers, which is nice. Like, we've got this giant pack just following him. In fact, that's 2, 4, like 6 villagers just there that were all idle that time. Man-at-Arms has clicked in, but ACCM pretty much straight behind him here. I'm looking for any kind of transition we're seeing from players at the moment. There's the archery range from LaaaaN just getting created now towards the middle of the map. And it looks like the Man-at-Arms are coming around. We'll get outside of the line of vision with the scout, outside the vision of ACM's Man-at-Arms. And look at this. Here's the quick wall.
Oh, but quick wall, if you only hit a palace at once, that's not really going to last too long against 5 Man-at-Arms. But at the same time, we have 4 Man-at-Arms and 1 scout coming over the left-hand side. This will be heavy losses on both sides.
Well, both players, yeah, up for some losses potentially. We see, yep, there we go. ACCM's been completely pushed away from the Shorefish. We have the Man-at-Arms struggling to get back in time. Strong, bulky unit, but end of the day, they just do not have the speed to be effective at jumping around the map. So we are going to see 1 villager lost there for LaaaaN.
Oh boy, and he has 8 Men-at-Arms out now. It goes for an archer. At the other side, we only have 4 early archer ranges from our Britain's players, so might be having the better transition when it comes to that. And, well, if ACM just keeps running, those Men-at-Arms of LaaaaN won't do much. That's why he's going for the attack and maybe can raid the Shorefish villagers again.
Let's hope we can kind of get someone here, because Man-at-Arms are a big investment to make. Like, they're, like we said, a bulky unit. They do a lot of damage. But end of the day, they need to be getting some kills here, and it looks like potentially going to... I thought they would box one of those in and get another kill there. But getting one, so they're on even trades at the moment in terms of villagers overall, so it works out kind of alright. We see the first of the archers out from LaaaaN now, but the double transition into the archeries from ACCM, I think you're right. It's going to be a huge difference here in terms of basically being able to deal with these Man-at-Arms, because some well-microed archers, you can take out those Man-at-Arms without a loss.
Britain's production will be sick. Thinking about ever getting into castle age, the +1 range could be pretty nice for the Britons as well, but for now, Men-at-Arms are dominating the game. Let's take a look. A fight close to the gold line here of LaaaaN. Might be somewhat even, I'd say. Should be low HP from ACM to begin with, and looks like we will see a lot of kills. 1 surviving 3 HP, so I called it an even fight, and it was one.
Very, very even, about as even as it gets. We've got the blacksmith going down for LaaaaN now, so he's going to start getting his upgrades there. We've already, however, got the blacksmith down for ACCM, so a little bit ahead there. Fletching, however, a little bit quicker for LaaaaN, believe it or not.
Oh, I would not have believed that, because he invested so much more in the Man-at-Arms, but it feels ACCM just being pushed away over and over again from all his Shorefish. Means he did have less resources. Let's take a look. LaaaaN not taking the great engagements close to the town center here. Archers are running away. Tower now up for ACCM as well.
Tower up towards the front as well for ACCM over on the mill. The Man-at-Arms actually might come in and decide to clean that up if they really want to go for it. The only downside being the archers are going to make that a lot harder. Skirmishers again pushing up. Going to be a great counter towards these archers from Britain's player we have. And Man-at-Arms just acting as a great bulk force right now, because they do have the damage output. They've got that armor. But end of the day, I don't think they can approach that tower still.
Yeah, the tower is really well positioned. Could maybe do another tower out of range of the defensive tower of ACCM, but not really an investment LaaaaN seems to be willing to take for now. Maybe some aggression over at the gold and stone at the top could be nice as well, but for now, just running around, try to snag some villagers here, some villagers there.
Well, looks like they might potentially get another one here. But it looks like he might make it back to the tower just in time. There we go. The Man-at-Arms are doing everything they can. These guys just running back to the base. They're getting the idle time where he can. But I feel like the Man-at-Arms are really just getting thrown away at this point more than anything.
Not getting a single kill there, fighting way too much under the tower. Maybe he was microing some of his skirmishers in the top, a fight that he lost. ACCM, that's a nice scary raiding trip that is coming around. Might be facing the woodline, could get up to the 4 villages. Yeah, LaaaaN, he had some Men-at-Arms, but obviously they are losing in value once we are fighting against bigger flocks of skirm archer compositions.
Oh man, and with that said, we're pretty much neck and neck in terms of our upgrades now as well. Both players with padded armor, both players with fletching, looking pretty good. Again, we have LaaaaN coming around, forcing these villagers off the middle here, being able to force into an actual aggressive fight by the looks of it, fighting that man-at-arm. Potentially might get one here. Of course, they have the +1, so they're doing a little bit more than tickling right now. But there's the one. However, I don't think any player's really making some direct headway right now.
Oh, well, I like the direct headway of ACCM in the woodline of LaaaaN. He will get, I think, maybe all 4 kills if he micros that correctly. Will get 3 for sure. And Force was 20 HP. Didn't micro that perfectly, in my opinion. Maybe can walk through there, but, well, thinks better of it. And has to be fine with 3 kills.
I was saying, yeah, no one's making really any dedicated headway, but here we go. This is where it's happening. We've got LaaaaN kind of getting pushed in towards his woodline there, losing 3 villagers. ACCM, again, in the center, looks like he's pushing in towards the dedicated archery ranges as well. Getting a couple of units there, pushing him away from some of those shorefish, forcing up LaaaaN to do his own tower, but LaaaaN on his way to Castle Age.
Yeah, and on the other side, we only have 200 food, 100 gold, so it will be quite some time till ACM can click up. He's getting pushed back, and LaaaaN, he has an easy job. Not important what ACM is building. He is just countering with mass skirmishes and feels like he is doing the correct counter. And for now, ACCM, without any switches into like scouts or having those crossbows with extra range, a bit out of options.
It's going to start to hurt probably a little bit more before it starts to get nicer, in all honesty. Because with this Castle Age upgrade, we're going to see Bodkin arrows to the extra range. We're going to be able to see Elite Skirmisher if he wants to take that path. So really, it's going to get worse before it gets better here. And I'm not sure exactly what ACCM can do to really get back into the game. Looking at his resources, he's starting to look like he wants to go up, but still only 200 food in the bank here.
Oh, 200 food, not really enough, and he has only 5 farms working for him. Some villagers still on shorefish, that looks solid, but more skirmishes attacking the backside, +1 defense. I think he needs to do massive damage against either the gold or the food in the center, otherwise massive amount of knights will just swarm him.
Looks like we've got LaaaaN trying to get his stable down in the center here, but it's being denied by ACCM, so gaining himself some extra time there. We did have the armor upgrade going on as well for those, so a couple of knights in here really could make all the difference.
Let's take a look. Skirmishes in the top. Now the defensive tower up by ACCM. He has 600 food, 200 gold, still trying to hold on. Is 3 villages ahead, but now losing all his archers there at the front. This will be tricky, and well, what does a Brit player really have if he cannot really wall, needs to expand toward the front and facing knight skirmishes? That's going to be a lot of crossbowmen needed, and for now, he doesn't really have the numbers.
ACCM is playing such a good game though. He's getting some good villager kills, getting the damage where he can, but here comes that one knight into that group of skirmishers. That's not a good sign, you know, when you've got one knight on top of skirmishers. They just fall back and peel so quickly. We've got another knight moving in to kind of join them there as well. The rest of the skirmishers moving up to join. And Castle Age for ACCM, but is it going to be too little too late at this point?
Well, he didn't have a lot of other options, right? Trying to fall back, now needs to regroup. He has 19 military, so if he gets all the upgrades, if he is able to sit back, he has 2 nice mining camps for working for himself. He still has some center control. He's going for some spearmen. Not the biggest upgrades on all those knights. I still believe if he gets up to like 20 crossbowmen, maybe even gets ballistics, he still has a good fighting chance.
Looks like we do have LaaaaN kind of transitioning to that Cavalry Archer combo at the moment. He's going to utilize the Bloodlines there, get the extra HP on the Knights and on the Cavalry Archers. Cavalry Archers still just sitting on the +1 range advantage right now with the 4+1. But, end of the day, I think he's trying to play that mobile army game a little more. Because skirmishers, sure, they're a really good defensive unit. Their downside is how slow they are. So if these cavalry archers can kind of hit behind the lumber, then move out back to the center, kill off some villagers on the mills, that's where he's going to be in a big advantage. But these knights at the moment, they're literally on top of the gold right now. There's quite a few in play here. There's Castle Age. Those upgrades need to click in quickly.
Oh yeah, and the question is, what will LaaaaN focus on now? Is it villagers? Is it trying to be the woodline? Is it gold? Is he trying to jump on the army? That's something that he is not going for at the moment. ACCM loses all his spearmen at the front. Some nice walls behind that, and ACCM, he is holding strong for now.
I like it. He's done well. He's done really, really well to push this back. The Knights on their retreat now. Chain barding armor going down, so they will be getting the +2 defense on those for a total of 4. Against the crossbows, it means they can soak up quite a bit of damage, but end of the day here, we've already got Bodkin down. We've got that +1 range advantage from the Britons in general, so those crossbows are already sitting on a massive 8 range.
That's so sick. In Castle 8 range just feels so imbalanced. But well, that's how Britons work. And I have to question you, or like have to ask you. CA with Huns, I get that, but isn't like Elite Skirms the more natural transition against a Britons player who's relying on massive amount of skirm crossbow defense to begin with?
I think considering the amount of skirms we had on the field at the same time there, especially when we were looking at that main push, you had all the skirmishers kind of sitting around the tower on the goal there. The elite skirmisher, I think, would have been a lot more valuable, because one, it would have boosted the units you already had, probably could have taken out a lot more of those crossbows, a lot of those archers, and the extra damage they get against villagers, actually huge. Looks like choosing a good position here for this fight around the mill, but at the end of the day, these knights, it just wasn't enough bulk of crossbows to really take them down quick enough yet.
Yeah, well, potentially he found an okay spot. I think moving in half a screen further, maybe in range of the TC towers and to your friendly crossbows could have been the better choice. Again, now Knights really in the face of Mr. ACCM here, raiding the gold line, and he has bloodlines and +2 defense. The raidings, super efficient.
And that's it. If he can sit in here, kill off these villagers, it's going to be a good place. The cavalry archer sitting behind the lumber camp as well, getting the extra advantage, forcing the deletion of the wall there. And this is what we're after with those cavalry archers, that super mobile army that can kind of just cruise around, take a pick here, run away. But the thing I'm looking at more so, we actually have a second town center down for ACCM. I can't spot a third one from him yet. Using that Britain's bonus to the best advantage you can. I haven't seen a second town center yet for LaaaaN. So really, this is kind of a bit more of a race against the clock for him, I guess.
Huh? Well, kind of. He is with even villagers, so that's not the worst. And look at that beautiful move. Taking out the 4 herd villagers, building some monks for them, and the rest of the knights, they know what they do best. They kill crossmen and villagers, and they might be the best engagement ever if they stop, and indeed that's what they will get.
That's a really solid engagement, right on top of them, doesn't let them run away to kind of find the position they want to fight with. There's so many knights at home here as well, killed up by the monks. We've got the double monastery to make sure that happens. Man, this is a really, really brutal strategy that we've seen around for a long, long time. Literally just cycle in 2 groups of knights, heal them up when they get back, and you just take next to no losses.
Oh yeah, and well, that's indeed next to no losses. That for the moment, I think it is indeed 0 losses. He just killed, what was that, maybe like 9 or 11 crossbowmen, and well, some herd knights now heals them up. What a beautiful move, and well, LaaaaN can continue like this if he wants to win.
Absolutely, we've got the 3rd town center up for ACCM, but we've got the 2nd one already up towards the top of the river spectrum there. Basically just using that for the mill bonus, essentially, get some extra villagers out and use it to kind of drop some resources off. We've also got another one coming up in the back for LaaaaN as well on his gold pile, so he's going to be up to the 3 as well. So we're looking at a very even game here in terms of economy output. It's just these knights are doing work. And here comes the 2nd group rotating in for their shift.
What do you think? Should ACM maybe switch into a proper counter against all those knights? Because at the moment it's just crossbowmen against +2 knights. Maybe monks could be an option, maybe some pikemen. I think crossmen alone can't really do the job in the long run.
That's what you were kind of saying earlier as well. Crossbows are absolutely fine as Britons. You can take on a lot of knights with if you have the bulk. The problem he's having now is he's moving out with like 10 or 11 crossbows kind of thing. They're getting caught mid-map by the knights, and he can't get this bulk up that he really needs to be able to push against any of this. So, at this point, yes, some monks or something to kind of switch it up, make sure he's got some kind of counter in play. Really a strong idea, but they're moving out across the map, and if he can get some kills with those archers, it'll look good. But look at this, they're being called home again.
Oh yeah, because the big raid is back in town. But he only got like 2 villagers, has a lot of TCs, towers and everything very clumped up together, so villagers can get back home. Now big attack into the main TC. I'm not sure if that's really going to be super efficient. Even if he kills the TC, he will lose a lot of knights for sure. And well, thinks better of it. Loses like 4 knights actually to the TC. Not the biggest loss, but ACM, he's slowly pulling ahead in villages.
Look, as far as it goes, killing off the TC with knights, he can do it. You need a lot before it becomes efficient, though, and I just think there wasn't enough there at this point. And look at this, the crossbow bolt's starting to get there. We're seeing a lot of military out in the field, but the knights, so they can still absorb so much of that damage. I think probably attacking the KC was a little bit game at this stage in the map, but I don't know. We're seeing 4 town centers out for ACCM, really abusing that Britain's bonus here. And it is starting to pull ahead, so unless LaaaaN can kind of get in and do some more damage with those knights, not sure exactly what this is going to turn into.
It will turn into a knight skirmisher composition because LaaaaN is tagging for elite skirms now, and I actually really like that. And LaaaaN, he is building a very ballsy castle.
If that castle comes up, that's going to signal a lot of this because it will deny the stone, it'll deny the gold. It'll give LaaaaN a great staging point, and it looks like he's pushing in with the knights. He's going to use them to cover the castle. If this castle goes up, this is going to be very, very deadly.
And that's like
and
the
that's
woodline very close by.
Too.
The gold. Oh, some skirmishers around. What can ACM really do? He really doesn't want to engage. LaaaaN is jumping on him or is just faking that. Monks in the back could go for some heals again. ACM in a tricky spot now.
That's the thing. I think this castle is going to go up at this point. He might sacrifice a lot of knights to get it up, but here we go. It looks like the crossbow's in a relatively decent position. The knight's getting a good surround, though. And it looks like he's actually pulling back, then going back in there. This is how you lose necessary units. Those knights are actually getting chopped down pretty quickly. The town center fire really helping out here.
Horrible engagement here by LaaaaN for sure. I think he could have smashed everything.
Here come the
now
pikes
it looks
as
like
well.
Yeah, he is losing most of it. He needs to really go for the kill now because he is behind by 14 villagers. That was very well done by ACCM. Got a lot more kills, but the castle is indeed going up. Villagers now falling here out of that gold spot. Let's take a look. More gold spot there to the top. I'd love to see the aggression continue more to the north from Mr. LaaaaN. Maybe a mangonel.
Well, that's it. If he can push from here, he's got a great staging point. He suffered a lot of losses to do it. He has a way to kind of push in from now. The crossbows can't really push into the castle because it's got that 8+1 range, so he's not going to be outranged there. Double siege workshop going up behind, so going to be able to push with this. And ooh, there's the tower as well. Looks like it's going up on the wood line. Going to try and deny that as well. But here come the crossbow pike push from ACCM. Going to try and get into LaaaaN's base and do some damage here.
But not really the damage dealing unit, although if we see that, that's super unprotected by LaaaaN. He's already pulling some villagers, spotted that apparently, but he needs to pull way more here, tries to rush out another siege workshop. So at the moment 3 siege workshops on the map, goes for the ram instead of the mangonel, quite surprising to me. Main TC now falling from ACM, so much going on, it's really tough for me to call who's having the advantage here.
Yeah, ACCM looking like he can hold it. He's got the town centers, he's got the villager count, but we can see that LaaaaN is slowly whittling away at this. He's going to take out this town center in the center here. A lot of knights going to be lost to do it, but it's down. He has free range. He's denying all these farms in doing so, though. And this castle just looking ever so dangerous. If he can kind of push up to the top here with some archers and deny kind of these town centers, there's 3 in a row right here. How do you push in against that?
Well, we'll see, but I want to see the mangonel shots first here against all those crossmen.
Ooh.
Now the repair as well. The defense of LaaaaN pretty rock solid here. Villagers now may be able to do some more. The pikemen need to come over. All the crossmen cleared up, and that was a better defense for LaaaaN than he probably could have hoped for. And well, that makes it so much easier because now he can focus only on the attack at the front again.
Yeah, this has turned brutal now. We've got battering rams in the base. Like we say, mangonels are for pushing, battering rams are for ending games. LaaaaN is looking to clean up as much of this as possible. He's going for the archery ranges after these houses. He's trying to take out everything he can and do the damage. That said, ACCM just pushing back into more and more town centers now.
Oh man, yeah, and he is really booming away so well. And at the moment, LaaaaN only now coming with the important castle age upgrades here, or even wheelbarrow at the feudal age upgrade. This will be tricky. A lot of villagers now trying to fight off the battering rams. It feels like ACM should be able to place a castle now. Where would you love to see that one?
The castle, he needs to put it in a defensive location here where he's got so much immunity. So either he gets aggressive with it or he plays defense. So he can put it up towards kind of his town centers here, try and defend that gold, defend the stone. All the economy is kind of got up here, but look at these skirmishers doing work. I don't think he's going to have a chance, but looks like he wants to put it up defensively. Oh, those
that's
knights!
brutal. He's blocking
Those
it
knights
over and
blocking
over
it.
himself. And then the knights
That might be
at the
it.
whole time. The towers were helping out as well, focusing that down. He's losing the right hand side to see. Now he's trying to go for it again. But the villagers are blocking it again. We're just too many villagers. Okay, now he starts to build it. But that will be so heavy loss here. ACCM with a
What?
big throw.
That's it. He lost so many villages there. The knights are still on top of it. The battering rams are literally right there. Like I was saying, it's a spot that makes sense to put it up, but it was not the right decision. Look, that was a massacre. Absolute massacre.
That felt so bad watching it, man. Oh, the villagers were
I
blocking
felt a
over
little
and
bit
over
dirty.
again. Oh yeah, and not in the good way, dirty.
Oh man, that's just rough.
Okay. In the meantime, LaaN did a great job of raiding all this, and the scum transition was so nice. ACCM didn't really have the good answer to that castle as well, and I still question the Britain's choice on this map. I believe you need more mobility than having crossbows. You saw one time he had the breathing room to go over to the other side and then got countered there as well. In the meanwhile, knights were just so active, raiding simply everywhere.
I think you've pretty much nailed it there overall. It's such an open map that without really any of that mobility you get from cavalry archers, from knights, from scouts, it's so hard to really be able to kind of take control of it. And once you've got the map kind of in control here, it means you've got access to those shorefish in the center there, which means you do have the play. You can push in, you can use that to kind of push out with more resource, more income. You're just getting better percentage return on whatever you're doing.
Yeah, love that for sure. And let's take a look at the stats, shall we? We are jumping into the statistics and KD. Ay, that was brutal. Obviously, in the end, losing 40 villagers didn't really help your KD either.
The KD, looking at that, it was insane.
Man, buildings raised, not really important. Better food eco for LaaN since we had more control of that center, therefore had the chance to send more villagers onto gold. More wood for ACCM since he went for Archer Pikeman, needed a lot more wood for that than, for example, Mr. LaaN, who went for Knights. 5 relics, something I didn't really see. So under my eyes, still grab those.
Well, it worked out well for the relics. He had them very early as well, so I guess the extra gold income from that was helping him out quite a bit in the end of the game there, especially getting so many knights out. He eventually moved into the elite skirmishers, like we were saying, so he managed to be able to get some villager damage with them, push back against those kind of nice and easy crossbows, and kind of got to use them as a main bulk to really soak up a lot of damage.
Yeah, and like knights are just such a good unit on map like those, so lovely stuff. And we will take a look at the next potential map. It will be Mediterranean, LaaN against ACCM. And I can tell you, LaaN, not the biggest fan of Mediterranean.
What do you think we're going to see? Do you think it's going to be another Italian?
Italian Mirror is kind of likely, honestly. It is simply the best civ out of this map pool. And, well, that's how ECL is designed, right? The Italian civ is around the Mediterranean. That's how the civs are designed. So if we are living with those seasons or like those stages, the Middle East, we will have Italians, we will have Mediterranean, and historically they have to be strong there. So kind of makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So at the moment, there's choices we've got left. So basically for this round, guys, the civs have to choose from Britons, Byzantines, Ethiopians, Franks, Huns, Italians, Mongols, Persians, Saracens, and Turks. So there's quite a few options there in terms of what they do want to choose out. Britons we've obviously already seen. We've already seen Huns as well. So that's 2 off there. However, I don't know. I don't think you would take really any of those civs for Mediterranean. Maybe Huns if you wanted to save the wood, but that's all I can really think of there.
Not really. It simply is Italians. Like, there's no way around it. You can get like super creative. Maybe Byzantines. You could make an argument for them because they're fast fire galleys, or like fire galleys in general, are just attacking faster, and you might get better trades there. But you're slower up to feudal age, and if you have like 2 against 3, you're fast attacking bonus won't really carry you anyways.
Gotcha. Interesting one overall, but I think, yeah, that pretty much has to be the option really there, doesn't it? If we don't see an Italian, really confused, because really at this point, I guess when we look at it, you've got two players. One of them's already up, LaaaaN. He wants to kind of hammer this one home. If he picks Italians, he's giving himself a good chance. The only reason I think he wouldn't pick it is if he wants to leave it for later on in basically the tournament itself. But even then, if you're doing that, you might be thinking too far ahead.
Yeah, potentially. So the other strong water tips like Japanese aren't really in the map pool, and I will tell them to say that we are ready.
Cool, we are good to go here, guys. Who's everyone thinks going to win, by the way? Who's the favorite in the chat right now? Let us know, because I'm really interested to see here, because LaaaaN's playing an amazing game overall, but I want to know what's everyone thinking?
Looks like casters are the winners. Okay, I see some ACCM.
Hey, ACCM.
Some
looking
trolls.
Good.
Okay, so more ACCM fans. Well, we will see. And let's just jump into game number 2 here. Played on Mediterranean again.
To the north of the map, we have ACCM playing for the Vietnamese Legends as the Italians. Towards the south of the map, playing for Heresy, we have LaaaaN in the red. We do have that Italians mirror matchup we were expecting, and LaaaaN, I feel, is the only way to pronounce it.
Yeah, so true. And do you know why LaaaaN so desperately wants to get top 2 in ECL?
Why?
Because he wants to make it to the LaaaaN finals.
I'm always ready for it, but I'm never ready enough. It's the right mix of horrible and fantastic. I absolutely love it, but we'll see if he makes it there and kind of see exactly how this one gets played out. We'll see if we get an interesting choice of strategy here, kind of like we saw in the last game with Nikov, and I believe it was Paladin as well, but we'll see how this one kind of plays out, see who gets the water advantage, and that'll basically tell us what's going to happen for the rest of the game, essentially.
Yeah, that's so true. Water advantage, basically what dictates the game. We've seen that in the other 2 Mediterranean Italian wars that we have seen before. And guys, thank you so much. Your face palms is my applause in the chat. So love you all. And what is ACM doing with those sheep? Okay, he collected his ones at the top. And now probably starting to push some deer. Nice defensive resources at the top. And actually everything to the left-hand side. So if LaaaaN is actually about to go onto land, he could maybe control all those very precious resources here. Look at that. Maybe a forward to the top could get dangerous.
It's totally possible. I think it's going to kind of, like we said, it'll be dictated by the water. If LaaaaN loses the water, I think that's probably the strongest play he can really go for overall. Kind of take that, push back these resources, and just try and play a little bit dangerously. Try and play it a little bit harder to try and just stop ACCM having any advantage he can. That said, looking at the way LaaaaN's resources are kind of set out, he's not looking quite so flash himself. Everything's kind of along the bottom there. And then you've got this mass kind of over here on the left as well.
Yeah, but it's spread around, like left-hand side, right-hand side, right? So maybe left-hand side could get dangerous because both the stone spots are there. But something we didn't mention yet is the distance towards the center. And, well, LaaaaN's distance was a bit longer here, but villager already around. At the same time, LaaaaN was able to harass the villager of ACCM trying to build a dock, so that dock will be a bit later, and the first boar quite late as well. Just compare that with with Nikov's start before. He, I think, took the second boar at pop 14 or something, and now we're at pop 15 with the first boar for ACCM, and not the greatest placement. This will be a shaky start.
Yeah, definitely not the best play on here I've seen, but still very neck and neck between the players, both of them getting that dock down. That single kind of harassment for LaaaaN doing a phenomenal job. He delayed the boar, he delayed the dock. Really decent from him now overall, but both players getting that dock up around the same time at the end of the day here. Both of them going to get out, 3 of them probably push to 4 fishing ships, and then move up into the next stage pretty comfortably, and that's where we'll see the dance of the galleys begin.
Well, we'll see about that for sure. Dance about the galleys. We will go for fire galley before that. And just compare the amount of villagers on wood as well. I can see 6 from ACCM on wood. At the same time, LaaaaN with only 4. This will kind of be more of an eco approach from ACCM and early uptime from LaaN. I'm curious. Two different approaches. At the moment, I prefer the one from LaaN.
It's definitely one of those things I love the most about this game, seeing people kind of experiment with it, get builds kind of sorted, because everyone will say there's kind of a standard way to play, but unless you kind of start to innovate, create your own way of doing things, basically like we saw from Nikov in the last game, that's where we really start to see players kind of forge their way ahead and really start to make a difference in the scene and pull ahead, just because they're doing things a little bit differently, and it gives them kind of, it means they can kind of transition into A little bit better, or transition into B, move into C a little bit faster. They've got so many options they can kind of work with here in such a giant, expansive game. And seeing people kind of refine it down and find what works and what's a direct counter, always great.
They can clearly move a lot faster onto C.
Let's have a look.
Okay, I will stop now. Okay, we have some
I did
scouting.
just try to ignore that one.
Yeah, it didn't really work. Okay, so we will have both with an okayish uptime, 9:51, 10:3 here. A bit slower than we've seen on the other games so far. And the approach, though, will be completely the same, all going completely for the water. And we have 4 on gold on both sides.
So looking very similar here, both on the 4 fishing ships as well, both moving those 4 towards gold. Both coming up with their second dock now as well. Looks like it should be popping in just about the same time for both of them as well. They're both players pretty much with the same kind of build here overall. ACCM going to be up at 10:03. We've got LaaN up at 9:51, so a little bit of an advantage for him. Meaning that LaaN might be able to push out, potentially get some units towards ACCM before there's too much defense out for him to be able to handle. But naturally, there will, of course, become the defender bonus, where, of course, being able to reinforce so much quicker.
Yeah, indeed, that's how every RTS game works. Defending so much easier, but still, who is aggressive wins most of the time because you can outmaneuver your opponent. Let's see how they're approaching. LaaN with the 6 on gold, 5 on gold for ACCM, now sends more here as well. Cannot really save his scout by running into the TC because there's no villagers around there. That's why LaaN is still running around, tries to get some scouting up. 3 docks for him, 3rd dock coming for ACCM. Pretty much a mirror, I'd call it.
Yeah, basically, LaaN's been just a little bit ahead the entire game. We're talking seconds here. Not talking minutes, seconds in terms of his basically uptime, in terms of getting his 3rd dock up. So he's a little bit ahead, but that's exactly that. It's a direct mirror at this point, really.
Let's take a look. Trying to go down a bit. Don't get confused by the military count. That's simply 1 more scout at the moment. So it's 2 against 2. Fire galley here. Nice micro back by ACCM to begin this, but shorter reinforcement lines, and that's what he said. A defender's advantage. So nice at the moment for Mr. LaaN. Now it looks like 4 against 2, but more are arriving for ACCM as well. And now LaaN is getting pushed back. That will be quite a dance here.
Needs to be careful not to get caught out of position. Here we have a 3v4 scenario, kind of. So gonna get a little bit more exit damage on those guys as well. Reinforcing here, and I think ACCM is looking pretty good at the moment with his micro. Being able to make sure he's kind of getting the maximum surface area he can, doing as much damage, but this is where it gets a little bit hectic and it's a little bit harder to see what's going on. Trying to retreat that low galley.
Let's take a look. Demos a bit later than I would have loved to see them after we had like the 5v5 engagement, maybe 5v4, and a demo could have been pretty lovely. Microing there, demo rev back quite nicely. And at the moment, a bit of a better engagement for Mr. LaaN here on water. Now the first demo is out for ACCM as well.
Needs to make those demos connect with a good hit. And there we go, gets the 2. That's what we want to see. As long as you're kind of getting that one, you're in a good position. And then there's the 1 for not even 1 exchange there, gonna hurt a little bit. At the end of the day, it's still looking very, very similar. And there we've got ACCM actually starting to repair some of his fire galleys as well.
Oh, love that move for sure. Where is it? Oh, okay. Already sending them back to the front as it seems. And LaaN, he's pulling his ones back, repaired some as well. At the same time, LaaN looks pretty safe. ACCM, he's somewhat scared, even walling with stone walls here. That's surprising to me.
Ooh, really trying to make sure nothing happens. And there's another good connection from Demo. Gonna get a little bit of damage across 2 of them there. Really need to start taking those opportunities, getting the hits where they can. LaaN looking like he's in a pretty good position, but at the same time, We've got a good job from ACCM here, but forced to retreat. Here comes the galley pop, and look at this. Going to be able to chase him across the map now. Just needs to be careful not to bunch up too much for these demolition rafts. Then going to be in a good spot.
Solid defense and solid splitting here for sure. At the moment, ACM with a bit of the poorer engagement. Let's take a look at the resources. We have 300 food for LaaN, not a lot of gold. On the other side, looks a bit better for ACM. But you see, ACCM, he is somewhat scared of landing. Investing 2 wills to wall stone walls here, goes for town watch as well. And LaaN, he plays it completely open, not a single wall. He is not scared of a land attack, and that could leave him super vulnerable, but ACM not going for land.
Starting to slow, like he's throwing up some small walls. We're talking just some palisades, a house, a market. So exactly, he's not worried about it. It's going to free up a lot of his villagers when it comes down to the actual time of the eco. But looking in the center now, we have the galley fight going on. Where's that demo ship? This is the time to have them in here. They need doing the damage. LaaN doing his best to try and stay on top of things at the moment, and that demo ship going to connect with a demo ship. There we go.
Yeah, looked quite even here for sure. And let's take another update on the resources count. 500 food, 300 gold, so can click up any second. LaaN at the same time can click up as well, so those timings will be pretty even. That was a nice demo connection here for ACCM, and all those fire gaddies. Look at all those. Super low now. He needs to retreat and he needs to do some heavy repairing.
That's the thing. I'm seeing so many more numbers for LaaN, but looking at the numbers, they're all kind of one demo away from basically the bottom of the ocean right now.
Yeah, that's something we see like Nikov abusing. If he took some engagements here, he just sends a random demo into the enemy and will get like enormous hits here. Something that is a risk other people aren't really taking. But Nikov, sometimes really efficient. That both kind of licking their wounds, castle age timings, neck and neck.
Again, you've been saying this is a direct mirror of a game, and it really is. At the moment, we're seeing pretty much the same military count, pretty much the same villager count. It's so even, so neck and neck. The repairs going down as best they can on these fire galleys. Towards the center here, we've got ACCM patrolling around with 4 demo ships. He wants to make these count by the looks of it. Doing his best here to try and keep his fishing economy alive. Both players, I think this is probably the longest game we've had this set, basically, where fishing ships have been alive for this much at a time.
Clearly our most even water game we have had so far. Both staying on massive amount of fire galleys, soon to be fire ships. The question is, don't you want to switch into galleys at some point? Might get tricky, and we will see LaaN now going for the engagement just shortly before going to Castle Age. He could eat some big shots, demos at the top, connecting beautifully. This is, I believe, a big mistake here by LaaN, moving out just shortly before reaching all these upgrades.
Look, it definitely wasn't the biggest demo hits I've ever seen in my life, but they definitely do help. We have a demo pushing out now for LaaN, but that's the thing, not waiting for the upgrades. That's the bit that's going to kind of get me here. We've got War Galley on the way for ACCM, and it hasn't even been started. Has not even been started for LaaN.
What is
he
doing?
Thinking about dropping the water?
Oh, no, he continues on it. Maybe he thought he was winning it anyways. Had the relatively good engagement here, but War Galleys will be out for ACM quite earlier, and he will take that engagement. Should wait a bit more. Now the demo here from the back, and LaaN, he will eat a big shot.
There we go, this is what we want to see. Demo ships, we've got fire ships. These guys so much stronger now. And look at the damage they're managing to do here. Managed to come on, get in on the bulk. That's going to be a good demo behind. That's all 3. Manages to get the 2.
Oh, this is just like everyone is throwing it at each other here, and it's really tough to call. Both have been 40 villagers. Military count 5 to 4. The only small advantage is that LaaN still has all his 4 fishing ships out, but this is super even. That might be one of the most even Mediterranean games I've ever seen.
I agree. Seeing how many... It's just we have so little military on the field right now. Generally, by now in kind of one of these games, someone's kind of taken advantage, and they've got like 8 more ships than the other player. But this is still so close overall. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Military count now a bit better for LaaN. Let's take a look. ACM, he continues to go for it though. Maybe even wanted to go for 4 stock. Didn't really get it rolling for himself though. Military numbers now look better for LaaN here. Let's take a look at TC count. I'm looking at soon to be 3 TCs potentially. for Mr. LaaaaN. And at the other side, ACCM, he does not have any stone because he went on to so heavy stone walling early on.
Interesting. That's going to make a little bit of a difference here in the end when it comes to the economy overall. So the fact there's going to be 3 up for LaaaaN, going to slowly kind of edge him ahead in the map here, just in terms of the economy bonus. But looking at this, LaaaaN's looking pretty strong on the water right now.
Oh, indeed, 14 to 5 military count. LaaaaN also 5 villages ahead, as we said, also for fishing ships. This is looking good. I think he's kind of ahead in every single department of the game.
That's it. The demos are out for ACCM, but they're just not trading effectively right now. That's probably his... Well, I would say the biggest problem is running into is the fact they're not trading effectively there.
It is obviously tricky. LaaaaN just moves in with the spread formation over and over again. Demos on his aggressive stand ground or aggressive stance. Well, that was one of the better fights, but now he's so overwhelmed when it comes to numbers.
Absolutely, and looking at the fishing ships, we've still got all 4 original for LaaaaN there. We're down to 1 of ACCM, and that's kind of hiding in the side of the map here. What are we seeing? It's gonna be... Yep. This fight on the water is not stopping. No one's kind of taken a clear advantage. You can see LaaaaN does have a lot of basically units out, but at the same time, ACCM is still just going ham over fist for this. He wants this so badly now. But the eco behind it, that's where he's going to kind of fall behind it. I still don't think I've seen a second town center pop up for ACCM. He's trying to commit his best, but even if he manages to take the water back, he's going to be in a bad position here because LaaaaN's been able to build up behind this so strongly.
We will see. His eco is just enormous. Look at that amount of farms as well. 3 TCs running, and yeah, now gets the full water control. Already killed a dock as well. We've seen some fire ships sneaking around though, and they are pretty efficient still against fishing ships. So let's take a look if he can defend that. But I think that's the time where he should start adding fishing ships, and that's indeed what he's doing.
Look, it's at that point now where I think it's time to abandon the water. You need to play here. What's it going to be? You don't have the town center support right now. You can try and boom up behind this, but LaaaaN's going to be ahead of you pretty much every step of the way. What are you going to do that's special right now to try and get back into the game? That's what I want to know.
Well, the specialty is... good demos indeed. Suddenly, military count is so even against 2 military.
That was some great demos. He's back on it.
How did that happen?
Well, that's what he's going to make happen right there. The special thing he's going to do is collide some amazing demos and bring it back so he has an advantage on the wall.
2 against 4 against 1 military. ACCM is just going for it. He is taking back the water all of a sudden. He is behind by 20 villagers, so don't get fooled. ACCM is not in a good spot here, but, well, it just felt like LaaaaN is, well, just steamrolling him here, but ACCM, he's fighting back, but still with an all-in strategy against kind of a 1 TC guy.
And that's our problem here, though. He's managing to take the water back. It's still neck and neck, but he's got no economy behind this to really back up.
Oh, yeah. That's a big problem. Yeah, he wins water now, but what can he fall back onto? On 50 villagers?
Man.
No real map control.
He's utilizing the hell out of those demos, and they're working effectively here. I wish I could see a trade comparison just in terms of how much he's invested in demo as to how much damage is done with demos. That'd be an awesome stat to see. But right now, he's got the advantage. He's taking out most of the fishing ships, or at least denying the fishing ships for now, which have all kind of cowered over in the corner. But how's this happening? There's the demo, so getting some extra demos out for LaaaaN now. Can try and push this one back with them. That's definitely doable. We saw ACCM do it himself.
Yeah, but maybe because ACCM got reckless and didn't like spread properly, as we now see. ACCM, he doesn't really have like super clumped up fire ships around the docks. Let's take a look. ACCM, LaaaaN is now moving out. He has 4 docks himself, and he's clicking up to Imperial Age any second. But now again, even military numbers, I still like the position of LaaaaN.
I'm seeing some good hits here with the demos from both players at the moment, basically trading super efficiently, but end of the day, I think you're absolutely right. And if you have a look, LaaaaN's actually top east corner of the map, and he's going to be able to start to get some kind of forward going here and really start hammering the pressure, so he's not going to worry too much about the water from now. In fact, he actually doesn't have any fire ship production on the way. It looks like he might be letting it go, and then he's basically going to go for basically a big land-based assault with that barracks and hopefully some siege coming up behind it. The fact he's going up to Imperial as well.
Desperately needs siege for sure. He's now heavily onto stone apparently because he's going for the stone mining upgrade. Okay, well actually only 2 villagers working on that. Is ahead by 25 villagers. Water count is, well, a bit better for ACCM, but nothing he can be super happy about. And winning water and still being behind in score means that the eco has to be behind heavily ACCM. I think he needs to start building some outposts and try to spot some landings.
Yeah, at this stage, that's pretty much the big thing we've got to be careful of here. Looks like we've got Imperial Age on the way for ACCM, land going down for Squires. Obviously going to see that Condotero, the good old style here. Whether or not he goes for a siege workshop and decides to just push directly through the stone walls or tries to use a transport ship to get across. Different questions in itself, I guess, a little bit riskier when you don't have water control, but at the same time, looks like we're about to see some real damage happen.
Well, not for now, right? He didn't see the stone walls earlier, so now just right-clicked it, knows that these walls are closed, and he needs to go into siege, and that siege workshop is pretty far in the back. I think he will lose valuable time. I think a siege workshop was needed there before he got all those barracks up.
I absolutely agree. It's one of those things where it's going to be stuck now. He had the advantage, which he could be playing right now, but until it takes basically him to get that out, Imperial Age style is going to be done for ACCM. Looks like we've got Fast Fire Ship on the way and Arson for land, so he's going to try and potentially take a little bit of the water back here with Fast Fire Ship. But
not too sure. I think
it's going to die.
The dock will indeed die, and that's something you can easily miss, especially if you just keep producing some Conditeros, which he's not doing with MQ here. So I feel he will be surprised that he does not have Fast Fire Ships here.
Looks like we do have a bit of a landing coming down for ACCM towards the south of the map as well. The good news is LaaaaN had an outpost right there. He knew this was coming. He's building up walls behind it himself. The good news is, I guess, for ACCM, if he's got water control, he can just kind of ferry them all across. But I don't know, is it going to hit too late? That's the only thing I'm worried about here. If LaaaaN can kind of get into ACCM's base.
Well, ACCM is first in the base, now with some condo defense. Get some more barracks up. The walls didn't really finish for LaaaaN. 44 HP here. Tries to defend all those. Not a lot of upgrades on either side for the condos. And, well, LaaaaN is going for the water now, but does that really matter? For now, he just needs to get his condos into the base of ACCM.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do it too at the moment. He's actually flooding condos back across the map right now, trying to get some way to defend this. The barracks coming up literally with inside LaaaaN's base, and there's nothing he can really do about it. Trying to get some gates up there to really kind of deny it a little bit more. Oh man, I don't know what he can kind of do about this now. He needs something out of that siege workshop, and he needs to push through that wall. He needs to do the damage here.
Yeah, I think so as well. Maybe a defensive castle for LaaaaN could really work out. And then he needs to... He didn't use the siege at all. Maybe a bombard cannon could have done something. Maybe a ram. Maybe even a transporter or something. But for now, LaaaaN suddenly defending in a phase where we felt, okay, he could be finishing this game at any minute.
Well, the thing is, he's still got the villager population behind this to really be able to deny it. That's the thing. He's got the economy to kind of keep this working. Potentially, he can actually run the fight on two fronts, considering the eco he's got compared to the eco of ACCM. He's literally at, like, double the villagers right now. It's just a matter if he can wall off in time, and I don't think he's going to be able to. These condos are too fast right now.
Oh, sloppy play that he still didn't wall that off. Where did he build the castle? Okay, at the top there, I love that. And some of the chat said that the siege tower would have been a perfect option there as well for LaaaaN to just jump over the walls, and then ACCM would only want to see.
Beautiful.
Indeed, could have been.
Again, I think LaaaaN's going to be able to fight this one off just because he's got such a superior economy. But that's the thing. Until then, we'll see.
Oh, okay, finally closing those walls. Okay, now he is in a fine spot. Castle up, walls up. Think he is fine. Won the water. Okay, I feared a bit for LaaaaN there, but ACCM, he gave it a good shot. Let's take a look. Now, next approach against the gate.
ACCM doing his best here to do the damage. Like you were saying, he was definitely giving it a good overall. However, it looks like we do have, there's the bombard cannon from LaaaaN. Looks like he's going to start pushing in against this wall now. Does have the map control back in terms of the water, so can actually potentially really kind of push it for a transport ship if he does want to. Kind of just move those condos across, cleaning up what's pretty much left in this downside here, using that town center to stop anything really attacking the gate. So in a pretty good spot here, I would say.
Goes for +4 defense. Now goes for some bombard cannons there at the top, 150 against a guy who isn't even at the 3-digit mark yet. TCs keep producing, and well, castle defense now with the second castle here. LaaaaN realizes the threat potential here from ACCM and is reacting accordingly.
Ooh, I'm kind of liking this play though. I think it's smart. The bombard cannons at the moment moving up to that wall. And here we go. They're going to take it down pretty quickly. And I don't know what LaaaaN has to defend with back in this top corner at the moment, or what to push with, I should say. He's got nothing out of that, but obviously the Conteros flood can be very, very quick. And it looks like we've got ACCM pushing up. I don't think he has any buildings ready to defend at home. That's his downside here.
Let's take a look. He's trying to get another wall off here, but Villager, well, is surviving there for now. And Condos now streaming in. +1 attack, +4 defense. Tries to go for defensive barracks. Villager is surviving. Condeteros sneaking in, and that wall will be open. The stream starts at the top.
The bombard cannon's going to do a great job at keeping it open as well. Not really going to be able to close off against that. Can't just get a mangonel and defend against a couple of bombard cannons. Going to be able to push in. They can deal with that town center quite effectively. The condos now, there's only one barracks up at home to really defend from this. They've got the armor, like you were saying, so they can really cop those arrows and not be too worried about it. That back corner defense, they are in. A villager overchopped, but the castle there should help clean this up with the wall off.
And indeed, he defends that. LaaaaN is taking it here 2-0 after winning a map that I thought could have been one of the weaker maps. And, well, ACCM, it felt a bit like ACCM was playing better than LaaaaN when it came to, like, water control and, like, up timings. But ACCM was just so scared of LaaaaN sneaking on LaaaaN, doing an attack, that he put himself so far behind and kind of forced himself to never add a TC, just to be safe.
Yeah, it's pretty rough seeing a game like that, because there was definitely a point there where ACCM did have the momentum to really kind of pull it forward. He had that corner that he was doing great with. He had the C option there as well, so he'd taken that. And that's really nice in general to have. But end of the day, we just had such a build-up by LaaaaN behind that. He had the eco. He was at double the population when it comes to villager count. And that meant, even though this push was coming in, he could build up, he could push it back, and he could actually get aggressive at the same time, which is what ended up happening with those bombard cannons there. And end of the day, ACCM did just not have the resources to fight on two fronts.
Yeah, he just played this one TC style, needed to make something happen, but LaaaaN with the walls delayed enough, had his own barracks up, and in the end, condo numbers just decide the game, and LaaaaN, he had the better eco. Let's take a look at the exact stats for this one.
Gotta love them stats, my friend.
Military count ACCM actually even ahead. How is that even possible? Did he get better trades on water potentially? Maybe some villagers there at the end, but that's still a bit surprising to me.
I think he got a lot of villagers there towards the end, and he got a lot of single terror back in that corner. I think that's probably what pushed him over the line there. If we did see LaaaaN actually kind of push through, then that's where I guess we really would have seen that change when LaaaaN got into the economy and started killing off all these villagers.
But did not really happen, and food count is just ridiculous here as well. 15k to 9k wood count as well, and yeah, pretty solid stuff here. Double the villager amount, already had a relic. That was pretty solid for sure.